While the animosity between the United States and Iran goes back decades, the most recent tensions arise from a December 27 rocket strike on an Iraqi military base in Kirkuk, which resulted in a US contractor and 4 US servicemen dying. The United States blamed the attack on Hatib Hezbollah, an Iran-backed militia, and retaliated by conducting airstrikes on Iran-backed militia bases in Al-Qaim, northwestern Iraq. This led to violent demonstration outside the US Embassy in Baghdad, calling for evacuation of the US ambassador. The tension between two countries hit the roof Friday with President Donald Trump ordering a drone strike that killed top Iran General Qasem Soleimani as he was leaving the Baghdad airport. One of Iran's most powerful military commander, General Qasem Soleimani, has been killed by a US airstrike in Iraq. The 62-year-old spearheaded Iranian military operations in the Middle East as head of Iran's elite Quds force. He was killed at Baghdad airport along with other Iran-backed militia figures early on Friday in a strike ordered by President Donald Trump. Trump said the general was directly and indirectly responsible for the deaths of millions of people. Soleimani's killing marks a major escalation in tensions between Washington and Tehran. Under his leadership, Iran had bolstered Hezbollah in Lebanon and other pro-Iranian militant groups, expanded its military presence in Iraq and Syria, and orchestrated Syria's offensive against rebel groups in the country's long civil war. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said severe revenge awaits the criminals behind the attack. He also announced 3 days of national mourning. Soleimani was widely seen as the second most powerful figure in Iran behind the Ayatollah Khamenei. The Quds Force, an elite unit of Iranian Revolutionary Guards, reported directly to the Ayatollah, and Soleimani was hailed as a heroic national figure. Huge crowds packed the streets of Iranian capital Tehran for the funeral of Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani. Iran's supreme leader wept as he led prayers, and during the funeral, over 30 people killed caused by a stampede. But days after the general's death, Iran fired a number of missiles at 2 Iraqi bases housing US troops, in retaliation for the American strike that killed a top Iranian general last week. The early morning attack presents President Donald Trump with the biggest test of his presidency to date. A US official told CNN that there were no initial reports of any US casualties from the attack, but an assessment of the impact of the strikes is underway. Iraq's Joint Military Command said there were no casualties among Iraqi military forces. In a statement, the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, an elite wing of Iranian military, said the attacks on Iraqi bases were hard revenge for the death of Soleimani. The IRGC said any country housing US troops could be subject to hostile and aggressive acts, and called on American citizens to demand the government remove US troops from the region. These threats have made it clear how the US-Iran conflict could spill over into other countries in the volatile oil-producing region. As a result, oil prices jumped above $70 a barrel for several hours. This escalation was serious, and as we have noted in recent days, the risk that a policy miscalculation could send the United States and Iran into an actual war is much higher than it has been in the recent months. However, we maintain our forecast that the two countries are likely to avoid outright war. Iran is not in a position financially after more than a year of crippling US sanctions to finance a lopsided war with the United States. Donald Trump also puts his re-election campaign at risk if he were to provoke a deeply unpopular foreign war. But we all have to wait for a much clearer answer.